Michael said, Mom, I'm going to wash my bits. So, yes, I'm not going to wash bits. Dark.
It was foggy.
What you do make it look bright, like a librarian. All right.
Yes, we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another
Conversation with the lead.
conversation with Elise. How are you? How is your Sunday? Of course, you know the rule. When you come on to the live, you like the live. You indicate who you are, where you're from, um, and of course, we give you a shout out. You see the topic. Hi, Carly.
Good night,
Welcome.
Carlene.
First to
Welcome.
class. Good to have you. Yes. So you see the topic we're looking at tonight. But before we do that, we will always want to say welcome to
Subscriber.
all our
Yeah.
subscribers, especially
Especially
the
our
new
new
ones.
subscribers. Thank you.
Yes, we want to say welcome to you. Thank you for subscribing and basically joining the family. Yes. Um, don't mind me trying to make sure Michelle get in the picture properly.
In the frame.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for subscribing, and we hope that what we have to offer is something that you will appreciate. Hi, Miss Dawn.
Welcome, Miss Dan. Good to have
Let us
you.
call her properly, Mrs. Cole.
Mrs. Cole.
Good to have you, Miss Cole, Mrs. Cole. Yes. So we want to say welcome to all our new subscribers. Thank you for joining the family. We are really excited that we have finally gone over the 300 subscription. Um, yes, we have gone over the 300 subscription, and our next stop is 1,000 subscribers. But the success is not a journey, it's not a destination, it's a journey. So though we're aiming for that, the aim now is to just have fun along the path. Yes, Miss Dawn. Good to see you too. This is
Good
cool.
to
Good
see
to
you
see you.
too.
Yes. So the aim is to have fun along the way, not just to celebrate when we get there,
And
but
no
to have fun.
celebrate.
But to have fun while we're getting there. So yes, happy to have everyone. Um, we each time we try to knock heads, not literally still, but to to come up with topics that will, you know, entertain, yes, but at the same time be interactive, so you guys can participate and we can hear what you have to say. So this is just another one of them that we knocked heads again and came up with. I mean, to be honest with you, we have a lot in the pipeline, but you just have to feel right at the moment to see which one of them we're going to choose. Yeah. So we came up with this one because we, from our experience, and anybody else who is watching and who are Jamaican and were born especially in the late 70s, early 80s, I think you guys will probably have some of the same things that we experience with our parents. And I can say the aim of this conversation is basically to show how that we came out all right, in the sense that we're mannerable. Um, we most of us are driven, self-driven and so forth. And it is due to some of the things that we heard from our parents. And some of them may not be so nice. But you understand? For one, let's start off with myself. I was a foodie. And I grew up with my mom, my stepdad, my a brother and a sister. That's Jerome and Kerisha. Yeah, I grew up there, and I was a foodie, and I remember my it was more like a stepfather, but when mom would catch on to, just saying like that we're really greedy, and they've made a vow that they're going to cook a pot of food, and my favorite food was dumpling, to the point where they literally call me dumpling. my nickname was Dumpling, and they said to me that the way me greedy, or no, say greedy, because greedy is a very decent word. The way me crave them, they said I'm going to cook a pot of food, and if me eat it off, them are gonna beat me, and if we don't eat it off, them still are gonna beat me. You understand me? And thank God that they never come still. They never cook a pot of food and give me, and then see what I would have done.
I was told that.
You were told that. See, there you go. Was the same exact words.
It's the same exact words. And I remember sharing it with Michael, because Michael is like that, love to eat.
Yeah, man, Michael is like, if I was bad, Michael like twice.
Love to eat. But I think it's just the way in which parents they heard it from their parents and they come down and all of
A-
that, you know.
And I tell you what honestly, what that did to me as a child, I'm not gonna say I was scarred, but it made me reserve on the eating. Like if I one thing I know I used to do when the food I cook myself at the doorway I lay
Oh,
wait it.
Michael is like that. No, oh my
That's why I now like in time I see Michael do things. I say to myself, oh God, you can't cuss me, you can't treat me because look for yourself. And I would sit and lay with the food and the mommy that run me and say, go on, go sit down and go wait or whatever. You understand me? No, and as I said, that kind of made me just a little bit reserved, and I kind of change my approach. I kind of change my approach. Another thing, my mommy, I remember her saying to me is this, and some of these have their meaning. So we may have a different meaning from you, but we are telling what meant for us. Like for example, a lot of the times we would go on the road, they would send us out. They would send us out,
God.
and when we go up on the road, we go we go
Yeah.
play football
Yeah,
with
me can
friend
find
them.
some friends.
We go
Some friends.
find something and do. Some of the time, me end up last the money. And me come home back only if you come tell her, say, um, me lost the money or somebody thief it from me. Why? Because if you tell her the truth, me I get beaten. So you get a little blind the first time. The second time, no. She said, yes, listen to me. If I spit on the ground and it dry before you come back, me and you.
Yeah, I get
And what that did for me was this: run, go straight to the shop and come back. Because if I leave, if I don't come back in a good time, we know what's going to happen. We're going to get some slapping. And that for me kind of helped me understand that, listen, if you get an assignment, get it done now, get it done quickly, because I love football. If I went on the road, hi Carlene, this is Marlene, sorry. Hi
it.
Marlene.
Marlene. Good
Nice,
night, Marlene.
happy to have you.
Welcome.
And thanks for joining. And if you're here for the first time, watching for the first time, like, share, and of course, please subscribe. And what that did for me was this, because I love football so much that if I go on the road and I see ball I play, there's no way me gonna refuse to go play some football. You understand me? But the thing that made me want to go home and do what my mama said is I don't want to get the
The
beating.
beating.
I do not want to get the beating. You understand me? So when she would say to me, say, go and come back and make sure the spit not dry up on the ground, that made me work with a certain timing. Me got me sponsor shop. And we got me sponsor shop. Me I hurry up to me sponsor sell me quick. And no, I'm not joking. That lady in our community had a shop. She literally named me sponsor. Yeah,
We have a
literally
business
named me
with them.
sponsor.
Right.
Right? And I went. I mean, I have to hurry up and buy and come up because I don't want to get the beating.
Yeah.
Rowan is here with us to the night,
Hi,
Rowan.
everyone. Welcome, cause welcome. Yeah, I can remember when I was a child. For some reason, everybody in the community in the country,
Mhm.
everybody were like family.
Yeah,
Everybody know everybody.
yeah,
Everybody could discipline each other's
child,
child.
yeah.
So I can remember now. I don't remember what happened down the road. Cause we used to carry water in the community thing
Mm,
before we got water in our home. So we always wait till the evening hours to carry water. So I can remember, that time, going, you just started high school and everything, and everybody have like, he's my boyfriend, he's my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, and so there was five of us who were cousins, we related some sort of way.
Yeah.
That normally was, and it was to get back to mommy that evening time I pass them I try and make but them all carry water. One of them team up on the road, juke off a talk to boy. You don't know what's going so like and they go pick them going like them
Mm-hmm.
post right. So of course no I go to mommy and say, think you're a woman if you get pregnant and a
No,
pregnant
you're pregnant. She said, talk what you said.
if you get no it's
She said, if
vulgar.
you breathe.
If you breathe inside there, you're nasty in there.
And breathe in
And
Jamaican terms being getting
getting
pregnant.
pregnant, but it's just the way in which I know how my mother say and how she use it raw. It's like that alone let me know keep myself. Cause even though everybody said about that, if them have their story, me have my story to but
Mm-hmm.
me know some me not do anything, cause me know what mommy saying.
Yeah.
I think the way in which you're raw and she tell her the thing and she tell her she always a ring. When planting one, let
They
them
shoot.
shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I may say that's a really mommy, but I don't hear the thing for you. Shut your mouth.
Yes.
Whatever. So those kind of things, it make me kind of, grow a particular way. Because even my friends, they have a boyfriend and everything, and them I tell them story. Me make up stories to become, I don't want to look like some no sense and get the teasing. But you know, my mother said, me know me not do nothing, and you know whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Me know me not do nothing. And then now I have, but
When you say you know, what she's saying is that she and I were both virgins when we came together.
I didn't. We
No,
said enough, but then
it doesn't matter. We're
you
talking
know,
about what impacted our lives from
yeah.
our
But
mother.
at the end,
Oh, Abisho is here too.
hi, Abisha, welcome. You're in the house. Good to have you. Yeah, so I mean the Raja cut and then she was a backslider. My
Mm-hmm.
mother was a backslider, so she was raw and she give it to you raw if you could have been a group of friends. She laying it down the real raw way.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand those are good things. And then one other thing was she normally chicken what? Chicken Mary Hart then
Yeah.
here.
One of the scenes we mentioned in
Well
last
last
week's,
week. I mean
right?
say I mean every day you get couple of them well. So with that we just say no, it's not gonna work for me.
But
Because
how it impacted your mentality? If you say, yo, all right, she's saying make sure you don't get pregnant, which
and
you,
then I was living with a stepfather as
mhm.
well, and I was the eldest one. Because
So that shaped your thinking.
it helped me to grow up. I think as a teenager, I think I was a little adult, a little young adult,
Hmm.
because she didn't curry up anything or pretty it
Pretty it
up.
up.
She give it to me.
Yes.
It let me know what is and
Hmm.
what the world really is before time. And with that, I grow in that scope. All right, do that. I can't do that because you live with a stepfather
Hmm.
situation and you have to be your peace and your cues and all of that. But it mold me in the sense that even like with my children now, it make me be I tone down certain things so they can enjoy their childhood in a
Hmm.
pure way,
Hmm.
and it make me draw closer even to my daughter in the sense that I reason with her
Yeah.
and don't speak down
Yeah.
to her. So I try to do the opposite. I take the good from what she taught me and the things I'm thinking was so great,
Hmm.
you know. I ship it around
Yeah.
and just, it make me know how to really, whether I say care in a more tender way
Hmm.
for my kids in a way. Not that she wasn't a bad man, but is that when I said the era that she grew up in or
I
the
think
culture
right,
and all of that.
and I think it's because for example, in most communities, the whether small community, well, mainly like the small communities, every parent want them child to come out to something good. And especially when there's a certain trend that go on in the community,
Yeah.
your mother, my mother, are gonna make sure say, listen, you don't follow nobody
Mm.
because follow fashion
Fashion monkey
monkey
never
never
drink.
drink good soup. That was one of the things that she told me
Yeah.
to. What that meant was this: stop following because you don't have the same luck as
The
everybody
same,
else.
yeah. Yeah.
So you go stay there follow somebody and know why them a do it, and you go follow them, and you are the one get catch.
And she used to say, like, The words that
You
your
say it as it
underwear,
is. You know, your trousers I get slack.
if I get slack, meaning that show you get big. You
Right.
swear say you're woman, you know, and those things. But
And those comments always come because, and I can say because Kerisha usually gets some of it
we
from
get it
mommy,
regular.
right? To the point where like, what she's saying is that okay, you stop listening to me now. Your things say you're big.
I chew
You
your boss breast.
because you're there
You
you
think you're
go.
a woman, chew your
You understand me? I said.
And another thing, like my brother used to get, Ralston used to say, yeah, I get heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I get heavy, but I mean, Ralston was more quiet. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the cut down on his side
Mm-hmm.
different. It was more quiet.
So no, Miss Dawn says I told my kids to be leaders and not followers. No,
Beautiful.
Miss Dawn, we can appreciate your properness. But in Jamaica, that's not my mother. Our mother said, you be top follow fashion.
They mean the same thing,
And it mean
but
the same thing. You
they
understand?
say it in a whole different
In a whole
way.
different way. Stop follow fashion because follow fashion more than what you could
Yeah,
do.
but
So in other words, you're saying the same that you're saying is done in a different
yeah,
way.
because the way in which Miss Dawn is saying, now, which is good, that's the
Mm-hmm.
way now I interpret what I'm doing today then
And then
and
say to
relate
our
it to our
children.
children for them to receive it. You know, but then you get it real
The truth
hard.
is, I think we can probably look at it and say, okay, it can be a couple of things. How they were growing up, their educational level, their own experience that they have had. You
Mm-hmm.
understand me? And they know them pouring on us, racha
Roger,
as it is
heavy.
and heavy.
Oh
You
my
understand me?
God.
Because they don't want us to come out to anything worse than they are. Most of the time, you have the parents say, "Me, my pit now come out worse than me."
Yes. And as you say that, I can remember it was a thing where every Sunday morning you have breakfast early and then you have to wash up but the dishes
Mm-hmm.
and tidy up the kitchen early for dinner to go on immediately. And then I wanted to go down the road and play with my cousins and my
Mm-hmm.
friends
Because
when I
not
don't
to
go to
cut you, you know
Sunday
something?
school.
Your friend always up to the time when you for the
When
work.
you have to do the work. So around the kitchen, I did that time we didn't have an inside kitchen as yet.
Mm.
I'm oh there me a merman man say, what time for go play? You know, me have to wash up this and that. But if it's somebody come around and hold me up with my mouth
That is it.
and ring it up. Yeah, parakeet, you're getting fresh. It's fresh. I say, no, mommy. I'm
And
begging
it's
about.
always not to get the
Mm-hmm.
beating.
Getting fresh.
So Marlene says my grandmother said, yes, little feather, I grew
That
up.
grew, yes, I got that too, Paul.
I
It's
grew
true.
out. No, so you think you're
You
big.
think you're big.
Exact words.
True, exactly.
Exact words. So Miss Dawn says, my mother told me that too, just like a Jamaican mother. Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly.
You could be even in a group with a
They don't
cousins.
care
They
where
don't
you
care.
are.
You know, if I can remember, I went up by my uncle's wife. I think it was a Saturday morning. Very early because me used to just get up early and pray before chores. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I think I was about 9 coming down to 10.
Mhm.
So I went up back. Everybody was close. You could eat from everybody's pot. Cause one of brother and sister and the train come down. I'm able to hear Michelle, Michelle at my grandmother's gate, you know. And at the time, mommy lived up on
On
the
the
park.
hill.
So you
Hmm.
know the vengeance that she came up that hill to reach on by grandma.
Hmm.
Cause my uncle lived behind grandma. They hear Michelle. And me hear Carly and she overseas now. She said, Michelle in trouble again. And me say, yes, mommy. From morning, you know, take out the best part out of the house. Come and take it out. And then you know, say have your little cousin them are as a little
Right.
child, you know, you have somebody in the neighborhood that have a crush on you, have a
Yeah.
crush on, and then you like them look you know, the little puppy. She
Yeah,
and my
man.
go up the road.
Yeah, man.
Friend, that not
Yeah.
happened to me again.
You
Do the
see,
chores and
though
everything.
though their method was kind of rigorous
Awful.
and awful, if you want to call it, Michelle would never ever let
Never.
that thing happen to her again.
And
You understand
that's
me?
why up until today, I learned to do my work. I can't have work to do and then idle.
Idle. True.
Don't no
True.
matter even
Those are the
sometimes I
discipline
have
we
something to
develop.
do and I mean the person that needed it, I'm gonna say, you don't want to chill. Come chill at the work.
Yeah.
Because my thing is that it's gonna be on my mind, and it's really the stuff that mother said. But she said you must what? There's a word that she said, man, in doing the chores before you play.
No.
I don't know, I can't remember now, but it's like you just have to get it out of the way, then you can go and do
Mm-hmm.
all the
Mm-hmm.
eyebrow style
And
work.
another one my mom used to tell me is this, and I remember this what happened to me one time. She said to me, say, me make sure warn you before me pan you.
Yeah.
What that means is that me make sure you get enough warning before you get a beating.
Beat it.
I remember one day I did something. I don't remember exactly what it was. And what I did, guys, I literally because my yard is a big family yard, so I have it section out. So I didn't know exactly what I did, and I went on top of my uncle's roof, and then the boiling sun, and I stayed up there for the entire day because I know if I come down, I'm gonna get a beating. I don't know what I did, but one before my partner was one of the things that I remember what she said to me. She always said that if she always give me warnings, do this before she get, and
Yeah.
when you get, and if you misbehave and continue misbehaving, when you get that beating, is a beating and a half.
Mhm. And I remember now, and
Mm.
it's later on. I know it's a scripture. By the sweat
So
of
tell
your brow
you,
you
you
shall
shall eat
eat
bread.
bread. Yeah. If
Yeah,
you do your work for lazy man or something like that,
yeah. Lazy man of eat.
love to eat.
Yeah,
Me say.
yeah.
Jesus.
And go
I
ahead.
can remember. I remember getting a jumpsuit from
Mm-hmm.
a bra. My father's sister came out. I was 9 years old, and at the time, because they just at the time they didn't get the pipe and everything, they have outside bathroom, outside toilet, and we use red oak.
Mm-hmm.
And but I have on this white jumper that Savile, go to Savile man, you come back, you feel nice and everything. White jumper, because she wash it. You couldn't wash them something little
Mm-hmm.
white. And because she wanted to punish me, she said, "What? By the sweat of your blood, Charlie, boy, you just want a bit fun you want to have." And she sent me another bathroom, in
Mm-hmm.
this dark Saturday evening with the red oak, and you have to use like matches stick
Yeah.
and send down. The red oak was liquidy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a dye that you mix with water
Yeah.
and send it down. Come, me finish and me hurry up and down. And she said, "You finish already? Let me come see it." And she said, "Take the stick and send it down in the creases." So I get up and look at my nice white jumper and I get to my brother and my auntie.
Mm-hmm.
Did I check say somebody attack me road and give me a couple stab wound?
They don't care.
She not care, that was the punishment. I'm in the vex for weeks. With the vex for weeks. And when I look up in you cannot argue with nobody because I take it up. My face vex up and she observe, And still now when I don't remember what I did again. And she said, "What? From weekend, swell up your face like breadfruit."
More
No, breadfruit. You think
okay.
you're a woman inside here? And then whip me up and say, "Fresh, you get fresh. You're a child, you're not a woman." And I
Mm-hmm.
show you, you think I don't feel a way that I have to make that jumper get wasted. But I show you, you say you're a little girl and you're not a woman. When I send you out, I say, "Come back X time before the sun go down. Come back X time."
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, what a journey if you want one so much lesson if you want little laziness. I'm just saying, look what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes even then as a child, me just say, me, when I have my children, me not put them under so much stress or so much pressure. Me used to have a way that I was so stupid as a little girl, so silly. Me don't know. My whispering and my murmuring, me get punishment in me tell, me mouth get ring up to me tell, and I say, "Oh, me never learn." Like me look back and me say, "Oh, me never know such a ear." Oh, me never.
There's no way you can murmur your mother
You
like her.
can't murmur in the
It's
same
like
house.
if in the living room them can know see a
Them
murmur
pick it up,
and them come out
pick
come.
it
But then again
up.
depends maybe you're on it loud.
Look here, it's board. It wasn't concrete at a concrete, just but then it was
Alright, so
board.
Marlene says if you stand at the gate talking to a boy,
Oh, Lord.
my mom always call you lovely to come and wash date, go beard or something to embarrass you.
Oh my God, that is
And
so
the truth is, it was an embarrassment, but they never
true.
care.
They didn't care.
And I think it kind of help if
Stay in your lane.
one stay in a lane, and then you have some of us now who sneak you around the corner.
Why me gonna sneaky? I mean, me never say me I go out and something, but
Mhm.
there's always a punish. That's why I say as children, I don't know. Either we were daring or we were foolish
Mhm.
because there's just no getting away from them. There's just no getting away.
So,
Honestly.
so Ron says, I always get a lot of beating, a lot of time. My auntie Lisa is the one, Michelle's mother. God
But
bless
yeah,
her soul.
yeah, skipper, you dance disco. Disco,
Well,
yeah, dance.
my auntie Lisa is the one who saved me.
Well, I'm happy for you because
So
oh, my
why
grandmother.
so why she has saved Urian,
I
Ryan?
get it.
So Miss Dawn says, when I started dating and the guy visited, by 8 p.m. my mother would walk up and walk up and down and take out her plants. That was a signal. You have to leave her house without saying a
A
word.
word, oh my
You knew
god.
exactly what that meant. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And the truth is, this topic here because we look at the type of lack of discipline that
pain,
some
yeah.
of these children have.
Children,
No,
yeah.
and we could look at it. No, and like Miss Downey said, I teach my children to be leaders and not followers.
Yeah.
In our time, we look at our parents as being draconian and drastic and awful with how them treat with certain things.
And we didn't resent them or
No,
anything, you
not
know, because
resent. That was already in our
it
vocabulary.
was
It was mad. You lick it, but the choice
true.
if you even utter it. But it gave us a certain sense of discipline. I remember another thing my mom used to say to me. Like for example, my there's a set of family that would travel, right? And in families they always have some squabbles and
Samba,
things.
yeah.
Always have squabbles. So when I set of my family would travel and they come back, if my mom if my mom feel any way, you know, she would say to me, say, try not to go on it
Oh,
and
I
ink
get
around.
me
Try
too.
to go on it, right? Because back in my when I was in my early days, we never had no TV. And my family who travel, they come if I have a black or white, and if their black and white TV was nice and pretty. So when we come in, when they come and me and Kirshap sometime me alone, we sit down at the doorway,
Kesha face,
literally.
Kesha
No,
dog.
she would do it
Yeah.
too. But because she's girl, she get to
She
go
gets it.
in. She give
Oh,
go in and sit down. Uncle Astin, God bless his soul. He would tell Kersha, come in and sit down. Me sit down by the doorway. I be watch
it's a
TV.
bad because I used to, when
Hmm.
Ralston and Ken cover the three were the biggest ones.
Yeah.
We used to get that too. And the funniest thing is maybe Ron know her is Auntie Icy, that's our grandmother's sister that come from abroad, you know.
Hmm.
And mommy warned us out before she go to serve. I don't want none of you leave the yard. I don't want to come back and say no, sit down by the doorway, a hanker for anything. If anything, they come for no, that get enough to
Do
go sit
not
down and a
get it
hanker.
exactly.
But you know, as little children, I don't think you saw it as that.
And then the joy to see your family too.
Me,
And then them something them
them
have
still
something
go.
we you know have and you wanna see you
And then you
wanna
have little cousins that come that you want to play with.
mhm.
And me just still hide go and oh God, Michelle, these come. But me couldn't break, they couldn't race the taxi. Can't race the taxi and get beaten.
Yeah. And the
The
main
comment.
okay. So Marlene says, I'll get back to that. Marlene says, funny, my mom was a was a beater, born enough as a child, and I wasn't rude, but you get licked for everything.
Everything. Everything.
All right, Rod said, my dad was very strict.
Yeah,
It was
Glenn.
no playing time for me when my cousin they used to play football. I used to have to go
That's Uncle
to the
Glenn.
bushes, go got cut down woods.
Wood.
Well, he's talking about the country part.
Yeah, that's my uncle though,
Hmm.
Glenn.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, Glenn was sick. Uncle carry water. At 5 o'clock, them man wake you out of bed. Me and Pernell, because we were me, Pernell, and Dervin, but Dervin was in another home, in our
Hmm.
uncle home. But Pernell is the big sister, so she was living with our grandmother, and I was living with my grandmother at the time. I didn't know the story why.
Hmm.
And Uncle Glenn used to wake us up 5 o'clock a morning to carry water. And then even December when I went to country, Pernell was reminding me. And Jean, that is Uncle Glenn, that
Hmm.
Jean lay up asleep. And then me and Pernell and Murmur So watch out tomorrow. We now get up, Michelle. Make sure you fake like you're asleep. Fake like you're asleep, mommy girl there and give me
Wet you up.
some lick. I will now respond to wet you up.
Mm-hmm.
But we were doing it deliberately, malicious. And we said, oh, Jean get to sleep and we can't sleep. And then, but you have to just do it. You have to
A
do
whole heap of the discipline. For example, I
discipline,
think I've
man.
said probably said once or so in our blog that there's three of us. My mom has three of us, and I'm the one that is least known.
Mm,
And the reason for that is that I afraid I leak. So whereas my big brother, he just doing more to taking chances. My sister, no, she was more okay, but she was still more a risk taker than I was. And me just at the time and me just keep myself to myself because me just never like get beaten. And because when mommy start and that was the main theme in all of the disciplines. If she said don't do this or don't do that, the end of it, if you do it, is a beating. If you say move this, move that, and you don't do it, the end of it. So it's like every lesson, if you don't follow it, the end of it is a
you get
beating.
that slap up.
And then no, it develop a certain frame mind for me that when me see others I do, me not doing it because me no want to get no beating. You understand me? And so though my sister and my brother, they would have probably been more known than I was.
Yeah.
It I just so I just stay home or just be myself.
When you're a
But
second
over
child, that can
time,
happen. But when you're a guinea pig, like me,
the
when you're a
first
first
you
child,
get the brunt of
listen,
everything.
you get everything. Even this, because I don't. After over time, when you get to know me, and you
Hmm.
start going to the country, and you hear the stories
Yeah, the story.
wherein mirrors can get everything. Can them not really get anything? Not to
A true
mention,
can.
yeah, Kayan really get anything too tough. Not to mention Shannon and Halloween. They don't. Shannon maybe get a little,
Mhm.
but they don't get anything. So we always joke when we go down at Christmas time and say, boy, the first thing them are the guinea pig.
They get all of it.
Them get all of the discipline and the
Hmm.
effort and the energy.
So
So
Ron says
yeah.
my dad used to tell me, you think football can put pot on fire?
Papa,
Little did he know.
it
Little did he
can't
know
do,
because it can put pot on fire. It can put a
but
horse over your head and everything. You
but
understand me?
then when I go to that level.
Yeah. And one is if I beat my daughter 3 times, that enough. But she don't play with me because she know I don't joke.
Yeah. And one of the
So
things
if
that
yeah.
as a mother you carry over from your mother or somebody within the family, but then is the eyes. You stare at the eye. Because even with Jordan as a young age, because that even as 1 and 2 year old, I'm saying,
Hmm.
and tear at the eye. And with Jordan will back away. And I didn't even have to leave it. Michael, and when you tear at the eye, put her legs. You
Hmm.
better get pissed or switch.
Hmm.
So with the girls, or maybe with the first child, it does work. But nowadays, not really work. It
I
work on someone else.
I think the disciplines that we learned are it may I nice it up now. The way we were disciplined was really rough and archaic,
It
but
helps.
it helped
It
us.
helps.
Some of the things that I am seeing that young people are doing
Doing now.
nowadays,
My.
it that couldn't go on. And I think one of the things that is lacking is parenting. You understand me? And cause some of the stuff that we see happening now couldn't in our time,
Yeah, I used to get beat.
it never
I have
possible.
a great grandmother. She lived long, Maudlin.
Mhm.
She lived to about 90 now. I don't remember 91. That's my grandmother mother.
Mhm.
And her house was way back, but she have a big piece of property with breadfruit come up to the front and the pipe was right there. See, every time you push it under the breadfruit tree. And if a 10 plus you plus I, good
You
morning,
better say good
Maudlin.
morning.
Good afternoon, Maudlin.
Yes.
And you see the one time you get tired and don't do it. You're fresh, you know no manners. And that's the little bush out the back and you get beaten from her.
Yes.
And when she come up to the yard by her daughter, you know, my
Hmm.
mother was living with us,
Hmm.
and she make a complaint. If you not get beaten, you get draped up.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I said, wow, no, because back then it wasn't norm.
Yeah.
But no, me, I said, wow. As an adult, me, I said, that was allowed.
There was a,
They mean well.
they did. I think it's just a matter of of how they were cultural
Good.
growth.
Yeah.
I remember when even going to school, um, I love to play. And if you're coming on for the first time, remember to like the live and you can please identify who you are. Just before I finish what I was saying, Rowan was making a comment that that yes, that's true because
Yeah.
exactly what she would say. Yes, yes, because she used to talk about before pipe go
Yeah, go
off. Right.
Yeah.
So the these disciplines are the way them dispose that was a big archaic. I remember when I was going to school, I used to rap a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember doing well, playing karate. And I was supposed to take some pictures. It's
Oh.
my little picture.
Oh, with the sweat.
Yeah. I literally that day I was supposed to take pictures because one thing for sure, my mom wasn't never had a lot of money. And of course, we live with our stepfather, and both of them combined wasn't a lot of money still. But we were able to go to school, whatever little we had, we were able to go to school. And I remember the time when I went to school, we were supposed to take pictures. To pay for the picture them, and me did I play karate, and the whole of me dirty up and remember I play karate Elvis, me know hit it. Elvis jump and kick them back of a drop and all my pants dirty and them come, Carnally, your picture for take. People, you wanna see me? I wipe sweat. If I show you my little, there's a little baby picture that I have from primary school. If you look right here, so
Shame.
I right here, so you can see it. No, it look dark because of the sweat
Oh well,
and
yeah.
the sweat and so I took the picture. But the part of it was trouble was worrying for me again, which is of course when I get home. So I would use and it's just about a memory I had now. I would use a green leaf and I would spit on it and throw it behind me and don't look back on it because if I look back on it, I'll get beaten. If I don't
Every
look if
damn
I
thing.
don't, I won't get beaten. And I go home and I didn't get beaten. But even though I remember see me close and stay, and she and it's like my heart a race, boop, 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 boop. And she would say, okay, look dirty. Go on, go take my baby. And me say, is that me hear the angel them a sing? Ah, come and say, thank God. Come and no. Say, come clothes are supposed to so dirty. You understand me? She said to me, say, I mean, Miss Synagogue School, you're not supposed to run and so forth. Yeah, clothes. So, and from that time, even the point when she eased up and never beat me,
Yeah.
from that time, my clothes speak and
Big
span.
ass.
You understand me? And
Yes.
and she would, for example, whatever I got for breakfast in the morning, it don't matter. And I can remember distinctly having maybe every morning, every other morning, Milo tea, egg and bread. To the point where we just get tired of it. But the truth
Apparently.
is, the truth is, it didn't it mattered a little, but it didn't matter because what it taught us was listen, appreciate the little way you have.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the little way you have. So I never complain, even if me not get tired of it.
Yeah, and it's like no, we've like we join and remember. I don't want that. Sometimes I say I'm
Choices.
not running a restaurant. If my friend, mom, what are you cooking today? We say Muslim to eat what I get. So what do you mean, man? Oh, mommy, you know, my sister cook it and I don't eat it. But then, murmur, you just eat what
you
you
just
get.
you just eat what is
And there was
provided.
many things you can talk about
You,
that you don't
you
eat.
never had much
You understand?
options.
I can remember when ballet was wearing. I don't know if
Yeah,
people here
man.
know about those things. They have a black ballet, brown bottom,
Mm-hmm.
black top with the flowers on the top.
Mm-hmm.
But just get the ballet, and that time ballet was wearing to school with socks.
Mm-hmm.
And with the player, it was dandy shandy break time. And for some reason, like you keep doing the same thing. The top, there's a little hole, like a rub out in the dirt,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody say, "Oh yeah, go over with the Lisa." They say, and dandy
Mm-hmm.
shandy.
You're not good for them.
Okay, look here. What would I tell her? Say either somebody did job me and me have to catch him. I always have to fight for Ralston and that time for us and our something. I'm never bringing to protect the brother part of it. But I think she did curse and won. And she did tell me, I'm sorry for you, but I know, oh, here in Kingston, we say a poop on a matalan. But I think she say a poop on a fisherman.
Okay.
And
Because the fisherman had money
had
them
money
time.
back then. And say, you know what, tomorrow, brother, doesn't have, can you wear it tomorrow, man? And then you go in with your toe up, people out of the valley. But it was the most comfortable shoes.
Because what and that again taught us to take care of what we have.
What you have.
Because whether if you got this brand new shoes and you go ramp and whatever, my mother said, yeah, we'll go back at school.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, weird. And I mean, like it again, you know, where people say, well, it's so harsh.
Harsh, but that makes
it helped us.
And it helped you to appreciate and the value of things. Really do.
Yeah.
It really because even with Jordan, sometimes we said to Jordan, and Jordan said, "Mommy, wait." And I said, Jordan, come and do so and so. But mommy, I just wash up the plate. Me say, you look at plate, you just wash up. You have to carry water. And I said, mommy, all right, mommy, I'm coming.
You know why you're the one
history. You're the history man.
So Marlene says again, nowadays children have too much freedom and parents are getting younger and younger. And that's the shocking problem that we have because I think as we get along, as generation pass on, there's some values that don't get passed on, that don't get passed on. And then no, I believe that's a contributing factor to what the society, especially Jamaica, what the society looks like now because there's no continuation of the other values that should have been passed on.
And again, and some of the things that our parents used to do and say to us, but it helped us for us to know that we are a child. That was one of their main thing to remind us that we are children. Because even now you find out that even within the community, like people don't really business with anybody children because the younger people now they don't have any manners. Most of them don't have any manners to the elderly.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's one of the things we make sure with our children to look. You have to have manners to persons, especially persons that are older than you. And a matter of fact, you have to respect everybody across the board. You understand? Until you understand, because you know respect begets respect. But nevertheless, when it comes to the elderly, even if they operate in a manner that you feel that you should not respect them, you still need to do so because they're older than you are.
Yeah.
You understand?
So Ron is asking me, how do I know it work if I didn't look back? Ron, me no want to find out. A friend of mine said to me that if you spit on the green leaf and throw it back at me, and don't look back, I will not get punishment. And I'm saying to you, asking how we know it work because me never look back, me never get no beaten, and right. I'm in intent to find out if it was.
I don't know either.
Once we never get the beaten, but good.
Maybe it was luck. Who knows?
With a luck,
maybe it was just luck, but I don't know if the faith that we had in these silly little things, because we had such faith in it, it just never happened. We didn't get in trouble that day.
So another thing that you taught me about in like with organizing, I think you mentioned it. First things first. So if it is, because there are times when mommy would be very, like I think as I grew older, the beating became less, and so we would be spoken to know. For example, I remember. Oh yes, this was one.
Drape up more when
this was one. I remember when I was going to school, and she would say to me, and I don't think it's an indictment per se on my father because my father was there for most of my life. But that's that, I never lived with him. But she would say to me, say, like she said to me, say, remember, like she said, remember, say your father, like she said, your father don't live with you, so make sure you take in the lesson, make sure you do anything if you do, right? Because
she never tell us, like your workplace.
No, thank God. My mother never said to me, "Say, come like my workplace, Papa." Never, because I think from what she knew of him,
your father always.
What she knew of him was, yes, he was a wild guy, but can't talk a truth. He was a wild guy. You come on, pray, but
That's so
it was
true.
thank God for Jesus.
Thank God for
He
Jesus.
was
That's why
a
thank God for
he was
Jesus.
a wild guy, but he was well respected in his profession, in his
Yeah.
liberty, and those who were around him. He
Take
was
care of
well,
his
and he took
children.
care of his children. So she never, thank God, never had to say to me, "You walk this," or "You
Mm.
will come out like you
But
walk this
most
before."
parents say that
And
when it's out of
out of
frustration
frustration, and even sometimes out of the fact that they are not with that person anymore,
anymore.
and
And there's
it's just a way,
bitterness.
and the
Sometimes there's not
bitterness
even
comes out.
closure,
Yeah,
you know.
the
So
bitterness comes out, right? But even with that situation, because yes, we can look back now, being older and having understanding that our parents, they were
stress.
free spirited,
Mm.
put it that way, right? They were free spirited. So
Hallelujah.
certain things that they did
They don't
was
happen to us too.
well, they want one, they don't want the same thing to happen to us,
Mm.
especially the ladies, the people, the girl child.
Girl.
They don't want the same thing to happen to them. And at the same time, it is important that how they started out and how they end up, our journey must be different from what they had. You understand me? And then it pushes them to push us further,
Mm.
right? So certain disciplines that you teach me as a person first, I was the one who mainly had to wash the plate. And like Michelle, I complained because me I said, well, I could complain about Jerome because in the big,
Big.
and he not staying in the yard, so it always fall upon me. I even tried to negotiate one time. I said, listen, at least make him worship him twice for the week. I mean, yes, I mean, he worship whatever. And when Jerome supposed to Jerome take with himself, and me have to do it when Jerome I do it, I'm like, come on, it's not fair. And me can't talk about Keisha because she too
Me
small.
have to hide that murmur. I still get
You
drift
understand me?
first.
I say? But there was a point though when I told myself, you know what? Just get it done, yeah, man. Just do it and done. And so and me not lie. Even now in my professional world, I do even do, if I have if one two things. If I don't do it same time, I'm gonna forget. So what I try to do is to be disciplined enough that I have an itemized listing that said, okay, this to be done, that to be done, that to be done. I may get them things that done first. And even if it means for me, sometimes even if I go on a weekend to do it, not necessarily I mean I get paid for that because at my level, supervisor don't get paid over time. But if I know I have to get it done, me still do go the extra mile and get it done. And I believe it is tantamount to what
Well,
my mommy taught me from the get go.
I never something from murmur. And I said, then she go tell me, so me I smell me I smell
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
smell your green. So I said, mommy, but and then you get the eye.
There is a look.
And then you get the stuff. Like she walk
There,
off and you say something and she not hear. She say, what you say? I do that with Jordan today. Then. What you say? And you put on the eye. And Jordan will say, no, mommy,
there
no,
is a
mommy.
look that your mother and I can't speak for my mother. And my stepfather, he would jump in now and then, but my mother was my
My mother was
disciplinarian.
my
And there's a
disciplinarian.
look
And I'm
that your
grateful to
mother
her now because
gets.
I needed it to because you see in the country back then everybody was just free and just what do you call it?
Loose.
Loose.
Mhm,
So that's her way, being a young mom.
mhm,
That's just her way. And I'm happy up until today because but if she never did maybe I get exploited. So make me kind of grateful and I look back on it,
mhm,
there's no resentment. You know, because she do we may not talk right now about the little things that they do in between
mhm,
after all those little stuff to show you the little love and
mhm,
stuff, but
mhm.
that's not the topic still.
No, but you
So
can
that's
still say because we don't want,
yeah. I
look
used
at
to
say
get
boy.
nice little things like she go
Yeah.
to Kinsa because she know me like little fine
Mhm,
bangles, you know, like me going to Sunday school and she my stepfather normally carry jewelry for her because my stepfather been traveling from when I was 3 years
mhm.
old. So she would get her jewelry with a cross. So I always get to me the first one, I always get a thick one with the cross to go to
Mhm.
church. So that's cool, but when you pray, Mama watch and you wear a watch
Mhm.
and the real gold and stuff, but who care? When me read them something there, everyone, when I read those things to Sunday school on the morning, you know, you know what the pastor said.
Okay, so look funny.
And I said that me I try to ensure that they're in place so me don't lose me don't lose anything. Me told you sir, oh I went to sports day and that time the elastic belt was wearing with a nice little hook at the front, the little broad buckle. But then that's a hitting me to my stepfather travel.
Right.
And so I always want just up in my mother something. And I said, Mommy, please, Mommy. The time he used to wear acid wash was heavy back then and it fit the acid wash. So please, Mommy, hold on. I said, look here for sports day. All of us, 'cause I showed the people the journey in our vlog that we had to walk from home to school. After sports day beat up, I went to paradise for sports day. When we come back now, we get driving our truck.
You jump off that truck.
No, the bigger cousin them take up the girls and we come up with the truck. When the truck at the Murray, we soon reach out at Goldsmith Road, there's something come
The
up.
entrance.
No buckle. And it's something belt still hooking up, but the fancy belt buckle it's like it's like the world. It's like the world's done. We're already late going home from sports day. I can't linger. We come up with no story. I will go home. And you know, sir, I'm go home today, because you know, you come, she not ask you just then and you take it off. I'm trying to look massing thing to say, why be the car back for the camera? You never know, say, Mommy, do this. But I will fear the story. Yes. Oh my God. No, me laugh. So when she asked me, I said, Michelle, where's the buckle? You know, maybe at Wednesday, so no, it was on a Thursday. So it would be the weekend when I washed it. I said, Mommy, I brought it back and then put it on the door. I don't know, Mommy. And to show how silly it was, because I know I'm going to get this slap and this slap at me ever don't know me play a coy. And sometimes me get to realize that she just want me to tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's why it look at me drink truth syrup though, because we go and then eat it. We got treatment. So Mommy said, I'm going to ask you one more time. I mean, if I myself do that with Michael one more time and think about your answer before you say it to me. And just like a good little liar, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't people. Me. That time when my sister blood in her face, and she peaked, she brown, she brother that me saw her color change. She said, dead no. And then I said, mommy, she said, too late. Too late. That is it. I get so licked. But you know, I should just start the truth. That's why. The longer you take to tell the truth, the harder the lick. The lick. And then we have to ask God to help us, because Mr. Michael, remember the other day, I said to Michael, baby, we have this conversation already. Just think before you speak. Make sure you choose the right answer. So, Michael, did you do so and so? No, mommy, I'm telling the truth. So, Cardell, what did you say now? Yeah. You said something like, Michael, come here to me. Did it? Daddy, no, Daddy. Then when they get the first slap. No, mama, go for the belt. And Michael said to me, said, Daddy, so if I tell the truth, what happened? I stood up right there, so it's like the whole thing replay, like Miss, Miss similar say for me. I said, but how is it that when you become a child, I gotta change? Why can't purge the child? No, you're not gonna purge the child. Wake up. Because some things that is just innate in us to pass on to them. Listen, sometimes if I discipline him, I just say, you know what? I'm coming back to you. I'm going to the bathroom, but shut the door. And I say, Lord, I'm start laugh 7 times. Because you have walked that road already and you have done some of those things. And that helped me. That helped me to draw back on myself and say, you know what? I not say, oh yeah, I really punish that child. You can't. When I feel bad in yourself. You right there. So Marlene, as a child. The Marlene said she know the look too. Yeah, Marlene, that is a look your mother give and you can't go around it. You know what gonna come after that. Or it tells you what to do without even she saying it. She said, Marlene said, so my mom was my mom as a almost single mom with 3 girls. She loves us but never joke. True. That's the thing, mommy. Sometimes she will tell her that too. When everything cool on, maybe a day or two, she draw your side and say, here. And she said, you know that I love you and I just want the best for you. You know, but sometimes
Though
you're going like, yeah, smell on your nose.
that is the
So,
nice part
I said, thanks, mommy.
when she calm down and she talking to you. That is a nice
You see the
part.
love.
Yeah. So Martin said again, to this day, as grown as we are, she don't hold back nothing, blunt and bad. Well, you see, because it's
It's
just
good.
who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and when we get to understand and appreciate what they what their action is really from a place of
Place of
love,
love.
then we not really make
Mm-hmm.
it bad away. She said again, we couldn't give trouble on the road growing up because that woman knew
The
everybody
body.
seriously. Someone would have surely tell her,
I come like gentle.
believe you me, my mother is like a village lawyer, just like your mother. And I think, and of course, my mother know your mother. And so the
Mm.
two village lawyers when they woke up in Naga
That
Pretty.
is, and you know the thing that was ironic. My father was away,
Mm,
wasn't really in my earlier stage of
mm.
coming up, but every corner I turn, no long neck, that I got. So who they long? You don't know Lisa man, Lisa from Abigail that girl. And then they a long neck I thought you wanted I didn't know a long neck and some famous my father.
Name long neck.
My father named Long Neck as a teenager. A long neck, why you feel a long neck? And I said, oh you know, yeah, look on the good. And
Mm.
burn them. You
And that
know,
was
country people, man,
and it's not
flavorful.
just country because that was the other thing too.
Long time too.
In as much as we're talking about our parents and what our parents told us
Mm,
and how they shaped us, we found out that there was and there's an African proverb that it says it takes a village to raise a child.
yeah,
And we found out that even from those out in the community,
community.
they'd watch over us too.
Hmm.
And if we ever step out of line, they are going to tell our parents.
Yeah,
And they even have the authority to gear to up the head
yeah, yeah.
and you just go on and
And
go
it's the
easy.
same way in which they discipline you, they care for you.
Mm,
Because my mother could go shop, because that's where the shopping take place and everything. And, you know, to my father travel
mm,
at the time, and she go regular. They call it to do whatever she doing. And the people in the community, and we said, when I eat lunch yet? Well, listen, I come back yet.
yeah.
I was listening, all right. And they come and they, if something needs to be prepared, say, all right, we can't be like, come over here for so and so. And they give a bread and sandwich
Bread
or
and
some,
sausages are bread
or,
and corned beef.
or corned beef
Yeah.
and juice,
Yeah.
lime and sugar and so that you're good to go. And another thing, let me tell you, say, a long time I love music. I mean, not the wrong way, maybe. Like
Mhm,
my stepfather normally have the latest, whether it's stereo, TV, whatever kind of travel.
mhm,
So mommy know me now. Mommy used to say, when we leave here, don't trouble the stereo. Stereo it was at the time.
mhm.
But when we hear some song, cause one of the person we used to like much was what's her name? The blonde hair lady, the man. She all know, but she look good. That Madonna.
Okay.
And when you used to hear them song there, so I used to play myself for the music. Because when I turn up on them, I turn up doof,
The
doof, doof,
bass.
the bass and them up. Man, me not
And the
lively.
boss is speak.
Yeah, I just speak on the bus, but me thought no, say something serious, but it leak out or whatever it was. I
Mm.
don't know what. Me no, turn down everything. Me turn down everything, and mommy come. Who chop a Dalton speaker? Who come when she upset and she said Dalton, but other jam.
Mm.
Who chop a Dalton system? So everybody was like, Ralston follow me, then
Mhm.
Cam. No, mommy, it's not me. And then no, me never know some mother. My mother will call me. She see, I'm sorry. And I said, mommy, I was praying for a while, but no, mommy didn't turn anything. But by then she knows me. So mommy comes up, like she pull and gauge of the gauge, and she turn it on back. It's all right and everything. And then she got me. You know, me. It's like a look what we just take this.
You better take the stuff.
Yeah, we just got to take the slap. I'm from dad, you know. And no, so I want to know where it is.
There were some, and we're not going to be too any much longer still, but I remember there were some things that that again brought a certain level of self worth to you, in a sense like whenever, for example, sometimes you don't have it, right? Or your parents don't have it, and as a child you may see others with stuff, And if you allow yourself, you find yourself, boy, you start go over the friend yard because the friend have it, right? And sometimes your parents will know more than you, not just sometimes, all the time. And so your parents will say, do not go over there, so or if you go over there, make sure the parents over there or whatever, right? And when you see your friends with whatever and you know anchor around him, sometimes your friend will embarrass you and then now you take the embarrassment when you come home
Somebody tell
and
your
you what I
parents.
know that is one. But you come home and your face look a certain way and your parents say, what wrong with you? Right? And you can tell the truth or you can get the slap. And when you tell the truth, when them say, my mama says, me tell you, good for you. Me tell you, say, if you tap go over there, and me tell you, say, nothing beggy, and nothing ask, whatever, whatever. If you not have it, you turn your yard, whatever. And as a child, you never see it so serious, but over time,
Time you
you
realize.
realize and you start to gain some self-worth. No, you say, okay, if you don't have it, you just ease yourself. You don't have to go there, go ask and big and whatever, because she's teaching you, say, listen, the little that you have, you accept,
Should
just
appreciate.
appreciate that and know, all right, this is what you have. Because sometimes when you extend yourself, you put yourself in a trouble. And extend yourself may just mean you're going to ask people for whatever. And some people are not nice enough to even treat
Yeah.
you nicely.
Well, that was
And you put
instilled in
yourself
me
in
from a
trouble.
child, as we tell you. But and that wise, it was most like with our relative from abroad that comes, she didn't want us at the door at all. But as it related to the gadget and the new things, that
Mhm.
was more like her home.
Mhm.
Because at the time it was only 3 person in the neighborhood
Well, you
that
see,
does
that is a good part for
that does
your side.
farm my side.
Mhm.
That's what was going farm working at the time before they get this day. And it was my father and Sheikah leave it dad. I don't remember the dad name, but Sheikah, if you're
Your
watching,
father or
my
your stepfather?
my stepfather,
Mhm.
Django, and Sheikah Lincoln, and then later on you have Linton outside on the main. I
Mhm.
called to him the other day. Those 3 persons. So you find out that they normally come with
The
the
latest
the
gadgets and
latest
whatever.
thing
Mhm.
and to a point where they even have a show house. That time it was karate, be a karate, so
Right.
happen when they put up the projector
Yeah.
and like my stepfather could have the same Francis
Mhm.
guy, Francis
Mhm.
over there, yeah. So my stepfather could have even lend them shows and so that was more about where this discipline coming for me is when you have a lot of cousins and friends, and as soon as the adults are not there, you carry them in the place, and then as a child, what you don't know would have happened is that when they come to look at what your parents
They never
have,
match it up.
them are gonna touch it. And sometimes you want to feel good and cool,
Yeah,
and
to
you,
come show
you're
them,
not
to show them
show
where
them,
come.
and you're playing, you're touch, and before time by time, when they leave, and if you run to tidy up place before your parents come back,
Mhm.
everything is not in its place. So as a child, what you should know is just tell the truth, but you can't afford that because
You know where come.
you come. So you learn the hard way that
Yeah.
that
So
way.
so so Marion says we couldn't give trouble growing up because that woman. Okay, I read that already.
Yeah.
Right. So Rowan says sometime they would wait to see if you're going to tell,
Tell the
and if
truth.
we don't, then they tell. And this is when somebody who
I
see you do
see
something,
something.
see you do
Yeah.
something,
My
and I watch you,
neighbors.
and even and they would know tell their parents if you not
Mhm.
tell the truth. I have had my relative literally come stand up and watch me if you say me gonna tell the truth. And
My
it's like your
grandmother.
mother stand up and look a year for you, and the
Mhm.
person that stop to say they will tell the truth. You understand me? And but the beauty about it, I know even my uncle.
My grandmother
If
used
somebody
to
tell the
stay with
truth,
me. She used to come
that's what me gonna say. When we
take me
tell the
away.
truth, then they say, all right, Jennifer, no lick him then, no
Yeah.
lick him, no lick him
My
again.
grandmother used to say, "Oh, oh yeah, I'm murder, discipline, discipline." Because my mother was like this, belt never interfere with you some reason.
Anything she
Anything she
reach.
gets, slippers, shoes, stick, brooms. You know how much broom.
What you mash up on you?
No, at one point, some of my cousins and like the older ones, and used to say, "Well, and I used to say, your mother don't like you, and your mother don't this." But I've never received it that way
Mhm.
because as I grow older, I get to find out that she was trying to instill a discipline that no matter what happened, take the responsibility. And she have given me more than enough chance for me to say, yes, mommy, I did mess with it, or yes, mommy, I
Yeah.
did eat it, or and but for some reason, it's like all me can see is that me I will get beaten. You understand? And even today, it helped to shape me because even today, I think sometimes, you know, I'm too honest, like something with certain things. Like I can remember when I was telephone operator at a place, and it's like them always want to tell like the goods not reach, and them tell the people them say boy the goods they in the warehouse already and all of that. And I said, "McCann, it was so about this because we were talking phone up our churches and she said, but Michelle, there are other ways to go around the truth to tell them. I say, I know. And I said, but you know these things, but it was difficult for me to go back there, and they wouldn't understand that I don't like this job. I don't want it because I get beaten to tell the truth. So when I become a Christian and an adult, I can't cut corner for it's like me putting back myself as a child in that uncomfortable situation. So
Understand.
I really definitely leave that job now.
So Ron said, sorry, Colleen Williamson says, I wasn't allowed to go over at friend's house, much less to want what they
What
have.
they have.
But I mean, so your mother was super. Well,
Maybe it
I don't
depends on
think.
our environment.
Watching, I don't be thinking about that mother strict on that because if we want to do something, we're gonna find a way and do it. It just when you get catched now.
Maybe they love my cousin them also. But
When
as
you
me
get
say, as
catched.
it relates to that side of things, like the one thing, it was really my friends that
Yes.
really want the stuff. Not even for me. I must step for the things like mine.
So what you find though, and as we come into a close, what we find is like when you make the comparison, as Marlene was saying, that the children in these times they have a lot more freedom.
Freedom.
Um, and even sometimes when you look at like teenage pregnancies and stuff, or even pregnancies and all, because I I went I yesterday. Where was I yesterday? Saturday. I don't remember where I was, but I
Remember, we're
saw.
here. Or in the evening, we went back to Ligani.
All right, but there was somewhere out Friday. I don't remember.
Maybe it's Friday.
Anyway, I saw a young lady. No, it's Friday. I was at work. I went downtown and I was waiting on a ride to go to work. And I saw a young lady. She no more than about 18, maybe 19 the most. She was pregnant, and it looked like and from what and yet she had a like about a 2 year old in her arm. So she had a 2 year old in her hand, and she was pregnant at the same time. No, I'm not saying pregnancy is a death sentence or anything like that, but I'm just saying with all the freedom that these young people have, with all the education that is at their fingertips, right? And with all the information that is out there regarding these things, and I'm saying to myself, if and most of the time the guy the guy who didn't get pregnant for is not somebody who is going to even be staying with
Staying
them
around. Because they're
or
children too.
staying
They're fairly
around.
young.
And you wonder, okay, if you have contraceptives that are so easy, you have morning after,
Morning up.
you have condoms without somebody been given
Basically
freely. And
contraceptive.
how is it that you don't stop to think and protect yourself and think?
I think one of the problems for that is that most of these children that are growing up now,
No, not clear.
especially leaving the 80s, most leaving the late 80s coming back to
Yeah.
2022 here,
Yeah.
they are not being grown up as children.
Yeah.
When they're children, they get too much.
You mean like the 90s children?
Yeah, the
Mm.
parents are trying to grow them as friends and a
Are
balance with
equal.
equal
Hmm.
with themselves. So you find out that the children are acting as adults. And remember, I said acting
Yeah.
because they haven't gone enough experience to know what is really what and how to deal with things. And because true decent discipline is not being instilled anymore the way it should,
Mm.
and children are having children, and you have so much young grandmothers, it's as if
Yeah.
there's not much people nowadays, because the elderly are dying, or the persons who go through, some who have the discipline most of the time are no longer around. So you
Mhm.
find out some people are growing up post-ripely thinking that they're adults and they're big, and
Mhm.
so they're making some decisions that they should not be making at that age,
Mhm.
because they're taking on adulthood without having the experience and the guidance.
Right.
So they
Right.
find out a lot of these things are happening. So that's why I would say that, people who maybe know better and still know how to discipline their children, they should enforce it and let the children grow. I mean, you can, now is the age where you should reason with your kids,
Yeah. I
but
mean, the
allow
dopa beating
them.
now. I mean, I don't.
Right.
I
The
mean,
beating is
it's
not,
not the best
yeah,
methodology of
no.
teaching
You understand?
or
Because you still,
discipline.
while we may take it that our parents try their best and we learn from most of the things,
Mm.
you still have another handful of people who see it as they were being
Yeah,
abused.
abused.
Some people look at it as abuse. So
Right.
it's have to strike a balance now. Can you have enough knowledge? You have enough technology to get the
Yeah.
knowledge, but I
Yeah.
realized that instead of most, not all,
Mm.
most of the young people nowadays should, latch on to what really true discipline is. They cut it out, and they don't want any. One of the main thing is that they don't believe in the village growing their children.
Mhm.
They believe that is my child, and you not say nothing to him or
Yeah.
her. You not say nothing to
And
him
that's
and her,
where we
and
lose
that's
out.
the danger,
Yeah.
because children need more than one and two parents. You need a village within a sense.
A
If it's even
community.
a community, if it's
Yeah.
even, trustworthy people that you have. Because in today's day too, we have to
That's
pay
the thing.
attention to the fact we cannot trust everybody. Because
That's
you
the
do
thing.
have
I think
perverts, you do
right
have,
those things.
you understand? So, but still, you have to, unless it's a situation where you don't have anybody that you trust like that,
Mhm.
you understand? But then it would fall on your shoulder for you to, you know,
Make a decision.
implement the
Yeah.
proper discipline and make a decision on how it's going to go for your children, because they cannot grow themselves like what have been happening.
Mhm.
Even for instance, with our kids, to show you the difference. Our first child is 10 years older than our second child, and we see the wide difference. Even though there's a big difference, nevertheless, there you can still see that Jordan is now 18, but when I'm busy doing my work and what I'm doing, she's free. Things that I would discipline my cuddle with, and
She take on the
she
road.
take it on without me have to say a thing. You
Mhm.
understand? And Michael will say, "You're not my mother." You understand? And Jordan will say, "But I'm your older sister." And if I say do it, and she changed the tone, and then when Michael see that what he's trying is not working, mommy. And then I say, listen to your sister. So you have to give even
Reinforcing.
reinforce. You
Mhm.
understand? If you have a bigger child who is disciplined, the small one, reinforce. And you have to do that, because if you just say, boy, a different time from back then, and
Mhm.
you understand, yes, we all know it's a different time, but certain things never really change. Certain way to call it disciplinary acts and stuff, they're placed there for a reason,
I just think that the society on a
and it can
whole
carry
has
through.
sort of you know gone into a little slum that person like children are just left up to them own demise, because they don't know and they're not being told, and then now some of them are being tutored otherwise, and
Otherwise,
they rather listen to the ones that the other messages other than what they
yeah,
hear
and
from
that's
from
even
in
what
house
Miss Dawn said earlier, that she teach her children to be
leaders and
leaders,
not
is
followers.
the same thing. Because even with Michael, and Michael always say, "Why I don't know?" I said, "Because you're a leader, and you're going to make, you're the one and who's going to make the example and follow
Hmm.
it through, because you're a leader, not a follower."
Yeah,
I don't have to tell Jonathan, because certain
yeah.
things
Naturally, we can see that
naturally
from her.
from her.
So Rowan says, because I remember one time me and my cousin Sean was playing
Mhm.
around with the machete, and I end up cutting on, cutting the arm, and they sent me to go tell my auntie Lisa, and I already know she is what she. I can say I already know what she was going to do. I was crying so hard. She said, "Boy, if you don't shut up, tell me what happened. You're going to get something to cry for."
Yeah, that's my mother,
But
man.
that's
That's
a
just
strategy that
me.
we employ to. We make sure ball before we get the
Before
lick,
I look sick for
and the
me.
ball, and we hope and pray that
Praise
boy
to
the
them.
ball in, the ball will save our little tails. Yeah. So Marlene says a
Yeah.
different dispensation now. That is
It's different,
true.
but
That
certain
is true,
things,
Marlene. But I think
should
what
not
I
change.
think or believe. And then again, I can't go around the fact that being a Christian too. I believe what the scripture says, and I don't think this thing what the scriptures speak about is something that is just gonna drop out of the sky. I think it's the action that humanity take that will result in what the scripture says is gonna happen. So those are different dispensation. I can accept that, but I also believe that until Christ return or until you know what the scripture is fulfilled,
Yeah.
there still has to be a people who are going to live. And if we live in a way that we're just going to allow in anything, what will Jamaica, what will the world look like
Be,
20 years or
yeah.
10 years from now? It made us break out in anarchy again because every man for himself, everybody do their own thing.
It's happening,
You understand
It's
me, I say?
happening because
So,
I went.
I mhm.
Sorry, baby. Sorry, finish. Go ahead.
No man, go ahead.
Yeah, I went to the tax office in January and I have a line of people waiting. Big people. This big lady, she looked like she could be my grandma. She come
Mm.
with, I don't know if it's our son, but she's strong and if it's our son or her grandson. And his mouth was just loud. Every minute they must send me down a Duke Street. I wouldn't take this thing for. So apparently he was there because him ride and him not able to access the bike. So the lady come forward now, take the stuff and say, come back, tell who we come back February for the ID and whatnot. If you see the little guy, look at him, use one finger, push him down. He stand up there. So yo, when the lady come out, so what happened to I? We come up here already, And not time we come back February. Yo, and oh when you want man, shut. So all the big ladies say, what thing you don't humble yourself and behave yourself man? And in that one, they don't move come here. Wow, but they want police to lock up I. Me can't access me by me keep on a ride anytime me not get the and me stand up there, I was in shock.
Mhm.
Cause it's a fairly young little guy. You understand? Everybody did it older than him. And him a half of the hurt the lady in front of everybody just because the protocol is that the thing not read. So if you can't read, you have to go down a juice street, maybe get this a paper
Mhm.
until the
Mhm.
time be. And me I say, man, look at me, I say, what we really come to. But me never dare say nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
And him come
yeah,
like flitters, like he want to do
yeah.
something.
Let's leave that alone. So
So,
I mean, so the end of it for us still is just to say that though our parents used whatever methodology they had, we just by following listening and most time if not follow instruction.
yeah.
Most of the time we didn't because we had to learn to. We can't take that away from everybody's journey. Some
Mm,
things will be learned by listening, some to be learned by experiences. That's I think we can safely say that no, not everything that we hear we're gonna follow, but there are some things that we're experiencing, and sometimes experience is probably the greater teacher than just somebody telling you don't do,
yeah.
don't do, don't do. You understand me? But I can say that I don't regret how my mother had to do what she had to do because she being my main disciplinarian. I don't regret how she had to do what she had to do. Somebody, yeah, I mean, somebody the way she talk or whatever, and the beating. But the truth is, it kept me in a certain line, and I am what I am today because of her.
Yeah, with my mother, may her soul rest in peace. I don't have any resentment because now that I'm a parent, I understand that at the age that she had me, she was very young
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
She was 18, so
Mm-hmm.
she was young. You understand? And then to have three kids by the time you reach what 24, and then I have my first at 27, and it was still hectic. So I
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what? I understand that most of the aggression was out of stress.
Yeah.
It was stressful. And then when you don't have a family life situation where you're married to maybe the father of all your kids, you know, and some special ticklish situation, I overstand it as an adult.
No, yeah,
No, I understand it. I have no resentment, and I think she did the best she could
yeah.
with the resources
At
that
our
she had
disposal.
at the
Yeah,
time. So, and I learned from some of those things a whole lot. The negative ones that I think, you know, press me a little. What I try to do is do the opposite with my children.
yeah.
Try not to make the same mistake, and you learn then, and then as I become older, I learn to make sacrifice for my children. And because when you realize that your children really are the future and you want better for them, there are certain things that now that you understand why certain negative happened back then, you as an individual have to make a deliberate
I
situation,
do do
a
it attempt.
deliberate attempt
Yeah,
not to make it happen. And yeah, you
yeah.
just have to do it. You just have to
So
do
we're
it.
going to close the lab, but let's take Marley's comment. She says, as a parent, I truly respect my mom because of how, because of her, we are truly grounded. Yeah. And she wasn't a Christian back then. That's another topic all by itself.
God.
Because we find out that not because your parents may not be Christians, but they themselves have principles, they themselves have certain disciplines
Mhm.
where they want and or they want them children to come out, especially if and what I find too, is that you see the ones who got pregnant early and whatever, that they went through a certain trauma and certain pain that they must say if they didn't abort their child and they brought the child and they must say, okay, you can't come out worse
That
than
wasn't
me.
an option for
Yeah, you can't come out worse than me. No man abortion was still around, but it's that they
them.
never
It wasn't
choose.
an option for
Oh,
them,
yeah,
meaning
in their
that in
minds.
their
Right, right,
minds.
right, right. So they said, well, you can't come out worse than me. You understand me? And so I lift my hat to my mom every day, honestly.
Mhm.
And my hope for these children and this generation. I don't know if it's still possible, but even with these mediums, when they come on and then watch our little thing and whatever, then they can learn a thing or two
Absolutely.
and change the mentality. Rowan says, even sometimes I see the kids over here, their parents start to talk to them, talk to them, tell their parents, shut up. I
What?
couldn't dare do that. I would have I would have to be 6 feet under.
Under.
Yeah, that is a fact. And Carlin says
Colleen said.
we would be 6 feet. That's same Carlin
You
says.
sanction what Ron
There's
said.
no way under
No way.
heaven you can tell your mother shut up.
No, sir.
Oh, I remember we saw this video with the lady at the bus and and
Oh, the
and
Jamaican
and the
mom
Jamaican lady the
and the
bus I
train.
think it was
Our little
it is that
11-year-old
if
son.
it's not her son, it's her grandson.
Was our son.
And the man was saying something and she talked to you and he was saying, why you don't stop it? You're so aggressive. I should dump in them out. The first thing that she was like talking English. When she said, lick me, my collar, lick
Lick
me.
me.
He said, that's a
And then she
Jamaican.
said, I would have flat you out inside the
Yeah.
yard. I suppose that she's a
She asked
Jamaican.
because she was talking normal and nice, And
So,
when the little
with our
boy got
American
said,
accent.
the little boy said, I should just dump you in the mouth. Lick me, my collar, lick me. I would say, yes.
I would have flat
Here
you
comes
out
a
inside.
Jamaican. There's no way under
And
heaven.
she says some more things.
There's no way under heaven we could have still our mother shut up
Awesome.
or kiss her the teeth. Kiss your teeth in front of your mother.
So that's it. If you want clean and say they can brush
Michelle
it with soft
asks,
soap. I
asks, one
know.
potter reach you.
If me don't run that more man, she don't
You
I know,
understand
get
me?
some pinch
So
up.
again, it is a challenge, but I don't know. I don't know.
We just have to
I'm not gonna say
pray
boy this
for.
generation gone, but
All of them
boy
are not the same though, because while we're talking about the
pretty
negative with
close.
all of this,
Yeah,
vice versa, I've met young persons, but again, they're coming from
from our time.
Christian
Okay,
background
okay.
and so on. They know how, then to behave
Mm-hmm,
themselves, and
mm-hmm.
because Jordan have friends. who are the same age, and they don't seem to
But
go to
what?
church.
But what?
Some of them, and they still, they're
But what we
grounded.
find is that their parents are parents who are
Who
the
are
same
grounded.
thinking like
Yeah,
us and come from the same type of background.
yeah.
You
From the
understand me? And
70s,
it keeps them grounded. You
grounded.
know. But guys,
God be
again, we
praised.
just want to say we appreciate you, and if you watch it to this far, we hope you have already pressed the like button. Fantastic. At this point, we had about 7% at the peak, and we have 7 likes. Keep it
Greatly
coming because what it does,
appreciated.
that helps the algorithm to pick up that person are interested in what we're saying. And we are so happy and grateful that you guys have come on again. So to everyone, Mrs. Cole, Marlene, Carlene, Rowan. We just want to say thank you guys for coming on. Again, another conversation. We thank you for the interaction that we had, and we want to have another, our continued conversations
Conversation.
where we all can just share and give our 2 cents in the matter. So we're going to close the live now, though, because again, I've work tomorrow, and again, probably you guys have work too. So we're just gonna say thank you for coming, thank you for
Greatly
watching.
appreciated.
Really appreciate it. And if you didn't watch it live and you're watching now, remember to like the video and remember to share it. To all our new subscribers,
Welcome
thank you
again,
and
and thank you.
thank you for subscribing. And of course, we're asking you all to share the video, share the link with others, and help us get to um, 1,000
Subscribers.
subscribers and beyond. Because the aim of it, what the purpose and the aim why we're here is really and truly to share our lives journey and our experience over 21 years of marriage and what we have learned over that 21 years. And we want to share it with you, and we know that whatever we put out, it'll be something that you guys want to hear and something that you'll be interested in and you'll participate.
Yeah.
All right. So we
Only
just want to
blessing.
say okay. Blessed night, guys. Yes, man. So we're
Amen.
just saying blessed night to
And
all.
Corrine.
Blessed night to all. And until our next live, until our next
Yeah, blessing
upload,
as well,
or
Carly.
we just
Good
want to say
night.
God bless you and see you guys on the other side.
Thank you,
Blessings.
guys. Love you.